leaders and laggards that looks like this. And at the top of the list, the sectors have gone up the most. At the bottom of the list, the sectors have gone down the most. And what we do is we look at about the top 10 or 12 sectors, and we say which types of sector have been doing the best. And in this example, we had health, personal care, pharmaceuticals, tobacco, food, and drug retail. They're all what we call consumer staple. Without water, gas, utilities, they're all what we call utilities. So consumer staple utilities have been doing very well. Consumer staple utilities doing very well. Whereabouts were we? Early contraction. That's exactly where we were. Took about 5 seconds to work that out, looking at the FT. Let's look at another example, another way to do this. You can go to this website, marketwatch.com. There's a free tool on there called a sector heat map, which looks like this. Each of these big rectangles with the thick white outline is a sector. So we've got the energy sector, the financial sector, the healthcare sector, consumer cyclical, technology sector. Each of the smaller rectangles is a company. The brighter green the rectangle, the more the company's stock price has gone up. Brighter red the rectangle, the more the company's stock price has gone down. Now, we use this in quite a sophisticated way. We say to ourselves, which of the sectors is greenest? That's it. Which of the sectors is greenest? And in this example, nearly all the squares in consumer cyclical are green. Half of technology is taking off in a big way. So consumer cyclical, half of technology, consumer cyclical, half of technology, whereabouts were we? Swapping over between these two stages, yeah? So what types of company would we want to buy? Technology, capital goods companies, and transportation companies, because they're supposed to do well at that stage. Now, I'm going to show you a real example of the kind of huge profits you can make using this strategy. As a real example, we did this research a few years ago. We found out we were coming into the early contraction stage of the economy. It was very obvious, everything was saying just coming into early contraction. And when you do all 3 steps, you get very good at the timing. So you can get in just at the start of the stage and get out just at the end of the stage. So we found out we were coming to early contraction. We then found out which sectors do well at that stage. Consumer staple, utilities do well at that stage. We then found out what are the smaller bits in those sectors, what are the industries. So in consumer staple, we have hospital management companies, beverage companies, tobacco companies, etc. In utilities, we have electric companies, natural gas, etc. So we found out we're coming into this stage. We found out the types of company that are supposed to do well at this stage. What's the next step? We're going to buy stocks and shares in these types of company because they're supposed to do well at that stage. Now, rather than show you individual companies, I'm going to show you what happened to these whole industries on average. So you can see what happened to every company within the industry on average. So hospital management companies were supposed to do well. The red line is the stock market plummeting. Blue line, hospital management companies went up over 100% profit in a year on average. They were supposed to do that, yet no surprise. That means if you picked a random company in the right industry, you made over 100% profit in a year. It was supposed to do that. Let's look at another one. Electric company supposed to do well. Market goes down, electric industry went up over 70% profit in a year on average. It was supposed to do that. Another one, beverages supposed to do well, went up over 50% profit in a year on average. Natural gas supposed to do well, went up over 60% profit in a year on average. Tobacco supposed to do well, went up 140% profit in a year on average. So that's how much you made if you closed your eyes and picked a random company in the right industry. Now, do you just want to close your eyes and make 140% return in a year? A few people saying yes. Well, yes, of course, but that's how much you made if you picked a random company in the right industry. What could you do that's even better? You could pick a good company in a good industry. Yeah, good company, good industry. 475% profit in a year. 500% profit in a year. When I learned this stuff, it totally turned my investing around. Where do you learn about this? I've read over 300 books on investing. I didn't read it in any of those. I've attended over 30 investment training courses. I didn't learn it on any of those. I learned this after being mentored one-to-one by some of the world's top investors. They were all using this stuff. Most people have no idea about this. If you're a beginner, you now have a massive advantage over most people. If you're already investing, you've got to be using this. It's so powerful, so profitable. In this example, I put $2,000 would have become $12,000 in a year. That's $10,000 profit for 45 minutes work. Let me just check before we continue. Type yes if you would like $10,000 for 45 minutes work. Okay, that is a lot of yeses whizzing past. Good. There's like hundreds of yeses whizzing past very quickly. Good, because you can do that kind of thing once you get good at this strategy. Now, 500% profit in a year. In reality, would the return be quite that big? Well, no, probably not. Because you might miss the start of the stage, you might miss the end of the stage. What if you only made 200% return in a year? Would that still be okay? Yes or no? Oh yeah, of course. And real trades, real money. Do people make these kind of returns using this strategy? 500% profit in a year? Well, yeah, of course they do. Here's some of our course graduates. 500% profit in a year. I attended the course over a year ago. I started with $2,000. I now have well over $10,000 profit. Using what I was teaching you just there, with a couple of extra things he learned on the course. That was a doctor looking to supplement his income. Another of our course graduates, 3,000 to 47,000 in 9 weeks. Between a period of 8 to 9 weeks, I made my 3,000 initial investment grow to $47,000 using what I was teaching you just there, with a few extra things he learned on the training course. Another of our course graduates, 242% profit in 8 months using these strategies that I'm teaching you. Now, I have another strategy to teach you. Very profitable, very simple. Beginners, you're going to love this one. First of all, I have a question for you. Type yes if you are feeling lucky today. Type yes in the chat window if you're feeling lucky today. So let's have a look. Lorna, Gloria, Kamala, Andrew, James, John, Saki, Gilbert, Liz, Sonia, Julian, Raymond. Okay, going faster than I can read now. Nick, Faith, Christopher. Good, lots of you feeling lucky. What I'm going to do is, before the end of this talk, I'm going to give one of you the chance to get my trading watch list for free. Now, what is this? This is the list of exactly what I'm looking to trade. Now, I put there value $5,000. I currently have 43 people who paid me $5,000 each to get hold of my watch list. And I'm going to give one of you the chance to get that for free. And for that person, what I'm going to do is, each week for 12 weeks, I'm going to send you my trading watch list for UK stocks and shares, for American stocks and shares, and for Forex trades, right up to date, exactly what I'm looking to trade, up trades and down trades. Now, whatever country you live in, you can trade any of these things. So if you live in the UK, you could trade American stocks and shares. If you live in Canada, you could trade UK stocks and shares. Yeah, doesn't matter where you live in the world, you can trade any of these things. Now, I mentioned that I have 43 people who paid me $5,000 each to get hold of my watch list. Why do those people think it's worth paying me $5,000 US to get my watch list? Two main reasons. First one is, by seeing what I'm looking to trade each week, that's a great way to learn. And you can start to get pretty good pretty fast by watching what I'm doing. The second reason is, what quite a few of these people are doing is, they're just copying my trades. And quite a few of these people are making a lot of money just copying my trades. For example, this guy, $8,000 profit using Darren's watch list. I used trades from Darren's watch list and I'm up $8,000 on a pot of 10,000 in 4 months. He was pretty much just copying my trades. So even if you know nothing about investing, you could make a lot of money using my watch list. well worth the $5,000, but I'm going to give one of you the chance to get out for free before the end of my talk. Now, let's talk about the investment rules. Actually, first of all, I have a question for you. How much money is there in the stock markets? Type your answer into the chat window. How much money is there in the markets? So someone's saying 100 billion, a trillion, 5 trillion, 3 trillion, 10 trillion, 500 billion. Okay, lots of answers there. I'll tell you how much there is. There is enough for all of us, that's for sure. If you take into account the main American stock markets, that's over $30 trillion. That's without even including the Forex markets. Let me just check before we continue. Type yes if you would like a share of $30 trillion. Okay, a lot of yeses whizzing past there. Good, it would be a short presentation otherwise. Now, the markets are a bit like a big bank safe. All the money's there, but most people don't know the correct combination code or sequence of steps to get the money out of the markets. If you were standing in front of the bank
recording
safe
here.
and someone says you can have all the money out of the safe if you can get it out, and here's the combination code, is that easy? Yes or no? That's pretty easy, yeah? What about if you don't have the combination code? Is that a bit trickier? Yeah, a bit trickier. Most people don't have the combination code to get the money out of the markets. I've now been investing for over 20 years. The first couple of years I spent learning the combination code. I worked out that I spent over $100,000 of my money learning the combination code to get the money out of the markets. As I said earlier, I went off around the world, I found some of the world's top traders, top investors, and I got them to mentor me one-to-one. And some of these people I had to pay a lot of money. One guy, I paid him $20,000 to teach me for 4 hours a month. So for $20,000, I got 1 hour a week on the telephone. Now, who thinks that was a good deal? $20,000 for an hour a week on the telephone. Depends what I learn, yeah? I can tell you, using what he taught me, over the next few years, I made several $100,000. So was it a good deal, yes or no? Yeah, of course. Any good investor knows the important thing is not how much something costs, it's how much it's worth. And it was certainly worth me paying that guy $20,000 to teach me. Now, we're going to cover the first part of the combination code. There are 6 main mistakes that traders and investors make. And I discovered that this is the combination code. The combination code is, once you correct these 6 mistakes, you can start getting consistent big money from the markets. And the first mistake investors make is not using the correct investment indicators. Now, for beginners, what is an investment indicator? And by the way, once you know this topic, you can make a lot of money using this investing. So it's an important topic. What is an investment indicator? It's something related to the price that we use to help us tell what's going to happen next to the price. If we do a non-investing example, time of day. Time of day is an indicator for how many cars are on the road. If it's 8:30 Monday morning in a big city, are there going to be lots of cars on the road? Yes or no? Oh yeah, of course. What about if it's 11:30 Monday morning? Are there likely to be less cars on the road? Well, yeah. So time of day is an indicator for how many cars are on the road. An investment indicator, something related to the price, we use to help us tell what's going to happen next to the price. So in this example, we've got the price along the top here. This black squiggly line here, this is the price. This black kind of wiggly line here at the bottom here, this is the indicator. That indicator is RSI. Now, you need to use the right settings, but let me just explain how this works. When the black indicator line crosses above the red line, like it's done just here, that tells us to buy. So black indicator line goes above the red line, it tells us to buy. So we get into the trade just here. Yeah. When the black indicator line crosses below the red line, it tells us to sell. So we'd get out of the trade just there, we'd sell. And that's a real example. You would have made a nice profit on that trade. Let's look at another one. So there we go, there's your profit. Let's look at another one. When the black indicator line crosses above the red line, we buy. So we buy just here, get into the trade. And when the black indicator line crosses below the red line, we sell. So we sell just there. And again, another real example, you would have made a nice profit on that trade. Let's look at one more. Black indicator line crosses above the red line, so we buy just here. And you can see the black indicator line is still above the red line. So we'd still be in the trade. Yeah, we'd still be making money on that trade. Fairly simple so far, yeah? I'm going to give you a test. I want you to type the word buy when we should buy. Type the word buy when we should buy. Yeah, buy. Loads of people typing buy. Okay, good, you got it. As soon as it crosses the red line, we're going to buy. So we get into the trade just here. And type sell when we should sell. So when the black line crosses below the red line. No, we're still in the trade. Yeah, it's still going up. So we're still making a profit on that one. Let's do one more. Type buy when we should buy. Not quite. A couple of people type buy there. Not quite. Almost. Let's keep going. Yeah, there you go. You got it. Buy. Yeah, as soon as it goes above the red line, we're going to buy. So just there. We're into the trade. And type sell when we should sell. Yeah, it looks just about there. Yeah. Okay, definitely there. Yeah. So we're going to sell just that. And another real example, we would have made a nice profit on that trade. Yeah. Now, was that fairly easy so far? Yeah, that was pretty easy. This stuff is easy. Now, you might be thinking, well, if it's this easy, why doesn't everybody do it? Because most people don't know the correct combination code. They don't know what indicators to use. They don't know what settings to use. They don't know this stuff. Once you know it, it's easy. Anyone can do it. Now, of course, you've got to do the practice so you get good, but it's easy to learn this stuff. Now, we just covered the first part of the combination code. I'm now going to give you another strategy, one of my favorite strategies. But first of all, I have another question for you before I give you this next strategy. And you type yes in the chat window if you are feeling really lucky today. Type yes if you are feeling really lucky. And you've got to type yes to be part of this. So let's have a look. I'm seeing Valdemir, Renice, Lewis, Simon, Mark, Nuta, Denise, going faster than I can read now, Brian, Faith, David, Milba, Annette, Joseph, Nick, Justin, Anne, Constant, Gloria, Lorna. Okay, going way too fast when we read. Hundreds of yeses. Okay, good. What I'm going to do is, before the end of this talk, I'm going to give one of you the chance to attend our Investment Success 3-day live event for free for you and a guest. Now, normally, 2 tickets to that event is $5,000 US. Many people have already paid us $5,000 to get 2 tickets to that event, and they were very glad they did. It's well worth it. I'm going to give one of you the chance to get out for free before the end of this talk. And we hold this event at our office on the first morning of the first day. We make sure complete beginners, you know exactly what you're doing, you've got everything set up correctly. Over the next 2.5 days, we cover the strategies. You see you do practical exercises, you see real examples. It's a very powerful training course. We've actually won many awards for the best investment training course. It is well worth $5,000, but I'm going to give one of you the chance to get that for free before the end of this talk. Now, we just covered the first part of the combination code, which is indicators. There are 5 other parts to the combination code. They're all just as simple to learn. Once you know all 6 parts of the combination code, what happens to the safe door? it opens and you can start getting consistent big money from the markets. Now, I was thinking about this and I thought, well, for me to master the combination code, it cost me several years of my life. It cost me $100,000 of my money. But once I knew it, it was easy. Anyone could do it. And I thought, what would be the best way to teach other people the combination code so they could master it in the quickest, easiest way possible? And I thought the best way to do this is I'll get a lot of people to send me in trades. I'll analyze their trades and I'll record some videos. And on those videos, I'll point out anywhere where they made one of these 6 main mistakes. And on the video, I'll tell them how to correct it, how to do it right the next time. And I thought, if I point out these 6 mistakes enough times and people watch the videos, they'll know exactly how to do this. They'll know the combination code to getting consistent big money from the markets. And I thought, in order to point out the 6 mistakes enough times, I probably need about 24 trades to look through. And I thought, if I do the project properly, I can probably record 4 trade analysis videos a day. Because I've got to look at the person's trade, see where they made a mistake, tell them how to correct it, record the video. I thought I can probably do 4 videos a day. 24 trades, 4 videos a day. The project would take me 6 days to complete. Now, I mentioned earlier, I currently charge $30,000 for a single one-to-one mentoring session. So I thought, if I just did 1 mentoring session a day for 6 days, that's $180,000. 6 days of my time is worth about $180,000. I thought, if I spend the 6 days producing this product, is anyone going to pay me $180,000 for it? And I thought, well, I don't know. And I produced it anyway. I produced this product, 24 trade analysis videos, basically the combination code to getting consistent big money from the markets. And I told all my clients about it. I said, look, I just produced this product. I said, watch this. You'll know exactly how to do it. And I told them how much I thought it was worth. I said, I spent over $100,000 of my money learning this stuff. It took me over 6 days to produce this product. 6 days of my time is worth about $180,000. I said, I reckon this product is worth several $100,000. I said, make me an offer. One small group of investors paid me $130,000 to get hold of these 24 videos. I'll show you what they got for their money. They got the 24 trade analysis videos on 8 memory sticks. They got 1 group mentoring session with me. And they got a couple of other, let me just go back a second. They got a couple of other training videos. But the main thing they were after were these 24 trade analysis videos. Now, a couple of months later, another small group of investors also heard about this product. They also heard about the results the first group were getting. A second group of investors paid me $130,000 to get hold of these 24 videos. But with this second group, I thought, well, they obviously know the value of these 24 videos. I know the value of these 24 videos. But I thought it doesn't really do it justice giving them their 24 trade analysis videos on 8 plastic multicolored memory sticks. I thought for this second group, I'm going to do something even better. What I did with the second group is I gave them their 24 trade analysis videos on a 24-karat gold-plated memory stick. I thought that's more like it. That shows the real value of what they're getting. And I worked out how much they paid to get hold of these 24 videos. As I said, at one-to-one or a group mentoring, I currently charge $30,000. So they basically paid $100,000 to get hold of these 24 videos. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's a lot of money to pay for just 24 videos. The question is, was it worth it? I can tell you right now, from the early feedback from the group, I'm guessing they've already made over $1 million using what they learned on those videos. Within 4 weeks, one of the group made over $50,000 profit. Within 8 weeks, another group made over $100,000 profit. That was $150,000 profit in their first 8 weeks. In total, they paid me $130,000. So they were already up within 8 weeks. As I said earlier, any good investor knows the important thing is not how much something costs, it's how much it's worth. And it's certainly worth those guys paying me over $100,000 to get hold of those videos. I kept one of these for myself. I thought this is so valuable. I wanted to keep one for myself. I have it here on my desk. Let me show you this. This is 24 karat gold plated memory stick with the 24 trade analysis videos on. Two small groups of investors paid me over $100,000 each to get hold of this. I mean, the real value is what's on here, which is the strategies, the techniques to get consistent, great returns from the markets. I'm going to keep this one very safe. Now, I'm going to give you another strategy. This next strategy is one of my favorite strategies. Actually, before we do this next strategy, we've been sitting kind of still for a while. Let's just get the energy back up, ready for this next strategy. You can stay sitting down, but let's just do a quick stretch together. I'll do this with you. So before this next strategy, let's just get the energy back up. Quick stretch to the left. Oh, feels good. And a quick stretch to the right. Oh, that's nice. And let's head to the left. Oh, that's good. Head to the right. And deep breath in. And out. And in. And out. Okay, feels good. Yeah, you ready for this? So, this next strategy, I was invited to give a talk at an investment conference in London a while back. And I turned up at the conference a couple of hours early, and I didn't really have anything to do. So what I did is I was sitting at the back table, waiting to go on stage and give my talk, a couple of hours before I was going to be on stage. So I got out my phone, and I traded the strategy that I'm about to teach you. And sitting at the back of the room, on my phone, trading the strategy that I'm about to teach you, in just 2 hours, I made over $15,000 profit. And I got on stage and I said to the audience, I said, whilst you're watching that last speaker, I was sitting at the back table on my phone and I was trading and I made $15,000. And I actually got off the stage and I walked around the audience and I showed them the trading account on my phone. And I said, have a look at that. I think I took a screenshot of this. Let me see if I've got it here. Yeah, there it is. So I did 3 trades, £4,000 profit, £4,000, £4,000, which was over £12,000 profit, which is about $15,000 US. Yeah, that was in just a couple of hours. Now you might be thinking, well, how much money would you need to be able to do those size of trades? You could have done those size of trades with a $50,000 account. And you might think, well, I don't have $50,000. That's okay. If you had $5,000, you would have made $1,500 profit in just a couple of hours. Still a pretty nice return, yeah? What about if you only had $500? You would have made $150 profit in just a couple of hours. Still a pretty good return, yeah? Whatever amount you're starting with, it's a great return. I'm going to teach you that exact strategy in just a couple of minutes' time. First of all, another strategy that I use, I call my summer holiday strategy or my summer vacation strategy. Because the first time I used it back in 2019, I used it to pay for my summer vacation. And I thought I'd show you a few of the trades I did using my summer holiday strategy. So here you can see that's my trading statement, and there's the date, and there's the trades that I did. So you can see that was kind of the first week of June. And that week I did 13 trades. I got 12 out of 13 correct. Total work, 45 minutes. That week, using my summer holiday strategy, I made £97,000 profit, which is about $124,000 US. I then went on holiday for a month, took a month's vacation. I went to Portugal, stayed in a beautiful villa in Portugal. I also went to Italy. I went to Fregene, hired a beautiful villa by the beach. I had a wonderful month's vacation. I then came back to the UK. I did another week's trading. Again, there's my trading statement. You can see the date on the side there, the trades on that side. This is kind of mid-July when I got back from holiday. That week, I did 14 trades, 14 out of 14 correct, and total work, 45 minutes. That week, using my summer holiday strategy, I made $365,000 profit. Took my total for those 2 weeks up to $489,000 US dollars profit. I then went on holiday for another, so it was almost $500,000 profit. I then went on holiday for another month, took another month's vacation. This time I went to Turkey, went to Bodrum, stayed in the best 5-star hotel, had the best suite, took my family with me. It's my son relaxing by the pool. I also went to Marbella in Spain, had a beautiful month's vacation, came back to the UK, did another week's trading. That's the trading statement from my phone. That week, using my summer holiday strategy, I did 6 trades, 6 out of 6 correct, total work 30 minutes. That week, using my summer holiday strategy, I made $135,000